Do not make eye contact while you consume a hot dog, okay? Food theory, what makes a sandwich a sandwich? We're gonna find out about the way of the sandwich. And this is by, The Food Theory, which I think is in the same people that made Game Theory. So let's watch.
Difficult. What to do with you, hot dog? You clearly don't belong in Sandwich House. And it would be absurd to place you in Taco House.
What is
I
that?
guess you'll join Hufflepuff. Ah, man. Internet, welcome to Food Theory, where we show you how the sausage gets made, and then we show you how it's classified. If there's one food that's inextricably linked to American summertime celebrations, it's the hot dog. If the sun's out,
To be honest, I prefer burgers as a summer food than hot dogs. What would you call a hot dog with the middle removed during October? Is this a joke? A Halloweeny, oh my God. In Europe, we don't eat hot dog buns. Like, we don't have the buns like the way they have it, where it's like a taco shape. In Europe, you have these machines that are basically these massive bowls of water with these rods on the side, and you use the bun and you push a hole into it through the rod. The rod gets hot and toasts the inside of the bun. And the hot dog gets boiled in the water, and then you shove the hot dog into the bun lengthwise. There we go. This is it. It's this thing. Hold on. I'll show you guys. This is the thing. You put the buns on the sticky things. It looks like this, and then you shove the wiener in the hole. You end up with a bun with a hole in it, and then you shove ketchup down there and you shove the hot dog in there.
buns are out, and you'll find Americans buying them, grilling them, and cheering on professional eaters as they consume impossible amounts of them. Americans didn't invent the wiener, Americans didn't invent the bun, but I'll be darned if Americans weren't the first to put a wiener on a bun, which is all we need to do to lay claim to the invention of the hot dog. When hot dogs first came onto the scene in 1860s New York, few could have appreciated the classification quagmire they'd eventually create. I mean, when you get down to it, what is a hot dog? Is it a sandwich? Is it technically a taco? Or is a hot dog its own thing altogether? Where exactly in the food classification diagram does this unholy creation lie? This might seem trivial to you, but this is no joke here, people. These questions have been swirling around since hot dogs first came onto the scene, and the debate is only picking up steam in the internet age. People are arguing about it on Reddit, on Twitter. People are making alignment charts about this issue for crying out loud. If you ask me, an argument of this level of importance calls for a ruling from the highest court in the land, the U.S. Supreme Court. Luckily, we got exactly that in 2018 when Stephen Colbert talked to the notorious RBG. That's Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
Is a hot
No.
dog a sandwich?
Well, you tell me what a sandwich is, and then I'll tell you if a hot dog is a sandwich.
2 pieces of bread with almost any type of filling in between, as long as it's not more bread.
On your definition, yes it is.
Ugh, circular reasoning much? It doesn't help us at all. Ruth is essentially saying a hot dog is a sandwich if you define sandwich in a way that would describe a hot dog. Which means it's back in our hands, folks. The common people. The people who today are gonna have to dig a little bit deeper if we want to get to the doggone truth once and for all. Is a hot dog a sandwich? Right off the bat, it's important to recognize it's the definition of sandwich that's so difficult to pin down here, not the definition of hot dog. Hot dogs aren't complicated. We all know what a hot dog.
The question is, why does it matter? Why does it matter if a hot dog is just a hot dog, and whether it's a sandwich or a taco?
Dog is. It's A, a wiener, B, laid lengthwise on a bun, and C, the wiener is filled with something resembling meat that no one can ever entirely vouch for. Furthermore, the proper authorities have assertively stepped up to the plate with clear rules regarding hot dog etiquette. According to the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council, and I must—
What? That is a very controversial topic there. You're saying that a taco is just a type of sandwich? It's not even the same type of carbohydrate. Tacos usually are corn-based tortillas. Sandwiches do not have cornbread on it. Yeah, So you could argue there that just purely because it's a wheat bread versus a corn
Jack, well, you
tortilla.
did not. Tacos are not a sandwich.
It doesn't matter. It's just fun to fight about it. Then how is a hot dog a taco? See, that's the thing. I don't know. I think, to be honest, I have to agree with the old lady. I think a hot dog's a sandwich. But the thing is, tacos don't have to be corn tortillas. They could also be wheat tortillas, right? But a sandwich does have to be bread. So a taco cannot be a sandwich. The sub sandwich, but what if I cut the sub sandwich fully through before I make this sandwich? What if I fully cut off the top of the sub? Does it then also suddenly go from being a taco to a sandwich? Is that the definition, the change? Then in that theory, is a quesadilla a sandwich? Is bread sandwich a sandwich? That's the question, right? Is bread without filling in it? But then it's just toast, Bear. It's just toast. So if it's folded, it's a folded taco. If it's two tortillas, it's a sandwich. Like what? 3 layers of bread. Oh, like bread. Yes, that is one. Wait, no. Because by the definition that MatPat said, if a bread is between two breads, it's no longer a sandwich. But then the chicken sandwich debate is all off because he said that's not what is happening?
Must say, I'm both surprised and comforted to learn such an authoritative body exists. Mustard, relish, onions, cheese, and chili are all acceptable wiener toppings. And that's the end of their list.
No, that's not the end of the list. Sauerkraut is so good on a hot dog. Don't be lying to me there.
Ketchup is not on that list. Mayo.
Ketchup does 100%. Why are we freaking dictating what belongs on a hot dog? I love sauerkraut on a hot dog with some onions and some chives and a little bit of mustard.
Mayo is definitely not on that list.
What's with the mayo hate? Why do Americans hate mayonnaise so much? Is it because their mayonnaise sucks?
So there you have it, friends. The hot dog comes with clear guidelines, definitions, rules of etiquette. That is some.
A hot dog does not come with rules of etiquette, okay? Except that you definitely cannot make eye contact when you're eating a hot dog, guys. Do not make eye contact while you consume a hot dog, okay? Especially not with your bros.
Some strong and strangely decisive leadership from the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council. But when it comes to the world of sandwiches, guys, let me tell you, it is chaos. The freewheeling sandwich community is leaderless and rudderless. Now, I say that as a joke, but also it's not really a joke.
Yes, the bigger the bite, the better.
Because there is, in fact, a National Sandwich Council of America. But
Why is there a National Sandwich Council of America? Is this where we're going to get into the chicken sandwich versus chicken burgers debate? Yes, please deep throat your hot dog. Yes, please do it.
These wannabes ain't moving the needle anytime soon. The National Sandwich Council of America's Facebook profile, and yes, they have a profile as opposed to a proper branded page, has exactly 122 likes. They last posted in 2014 and to date have received 3 likes for their efforts, which is so frustrating to me
Why are boomers so bad at social media?
because the world is desperate for someone in this world to seize control and expertly guide the sandwich narrative the same way that the National Hot Dog and Sausage Council over there has done for hot dogs. But alas, the National Sandwich Council of America appears to have lost their Facebook password and my remaining respect. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, who needs an organization to do any of this? I can define a sandwich, no sweat. I know what a sandwich is. To which I say, do you? Do you? Do you?
Yes, I know what a sandwich is, okay? It is simple. A sandwich is a sandy witch. I am a witch. It's when I go to the beach. The doy.
Really? Sure. It's a bunch of ingredients, usually meat, cheese, and/or vegetables, between 2 slices of bread, and that's all fine and dandy. But what about open-faced sandwiches, where you just spread peanut butter and jelly on a single slice of bread and eat it like a piece of toast? And if simply spreading something on a slice of bread makes it a sandwich, does that mean that when I butter my toast in the morning, that I'm making an open-faced butter sandwich? By that logic, is a pizza...
I do not think that if you take a slice of bread and you put jam and peanut butter onto it, I don't see that as an open-faced sandwich. But if you take a piece of bread and you put some egg salad on it, or you put some tuna salad on it, that is an open-faced sandwich. Because like the fact it's called Sam, it means it's sandwiched between two pieces of bun. To be honest, open-faced sandwiches is not even a thing. It shouldn't even be a thing. It's basically just fancy toast. And that's where avocado toast comes in, because avocado toasts are basically a fancy open-faced sandwich. So therefore, open-faced sandwiches have now evolved into avocado toast.
Pizza, an open-faced sandwich. It's bread with toppings. What if I have meat, cheese, and lettuce, but smush them between two hamburger buns or two halves of
That is a bagel sandwich, and the hamburger one then becomes a burger.
a bagel or two tortillas? Is a quesadilla a sandwich? Is a chicken wrap a sandwich?
No, a chicken wrap is clearly a burrito. I think functionally when an open-faced sandwich is involved, the fact that the top bun is gone is less important than the fact that it implies that there normally would indeed be a second piece of bread. Yes, but, have you never put butter and put it between two pieces of bread and eaten it like that? Because I, in fact, have. Would that mean a butter sandwich? Can I eat a butter sandwich? I wouldn't categorize that as a sandwich. I would categorize that as a depression meal.
Which is a taco a sandwich? Is the KFC Double Down, in which the bread is swapped out for two pieces of fried chicken, the most American thing to come out of America, a sandwich? So I think you're starting to see what we're dealing with here. It's a slippery slope, a sloppery joke, if you will. Granted, sandwich is a broad term.
I'm sorry, picky eaters. Picky eaters up in chat, you are eating depression meals.
And a lot of variations are meant to fall under its umbrella, but there's no sandwich council stepping up to offer definitive answers as to what exactly that.
I mean, to be honest, anything can be called a sandwich if you feel strongly enough about it. Nothing needs to be called anything. You can control the name of it and you can say what you want it to be. The reason we use words like burger and sandwich is so people get an idea of what they are familiar with and what they think it's gonna be. It sets your expectation.
That umbrella covers. Since Supreme Court justices are punting on the issue, it's gonna take some footwork to hunt down the authoritative definition of sandwich. Once we have the proper definition of sandwich, then and only then will we be able to answer the question that gnaws at us, driving me mad. Us. The question that's driving us mad: is a hot dog a sandwich? Given that the hot dog is an all-American creation, we should check to see if hot dogs meet America's own definition of a sandwich. Time to go straight to the source. The U.S. Department.
I mean, in all honesty, I know there's a lot of food regulation what can be categorized as what, but in all honesty, since the hot dog doesn't say sandwich in the title, therefore it's not a sandwich, right?
Department of Agriculture. These are guys who know their stuff when it comes to foodstuffs. According to Mark Wheeler, who works in food and safety at the USDA, quote, a sandwich is a meat or poultry filling between two slices of bread.
See, that is wrong. Because guess what, guys? I make vegetarian sandwiches. It's not meat or poultry. So what does it happen there? What is it then? Bread salad? Oh my God.
A bun or a biscuit, end quote. That definition comes from the USDA.
They say bun, bread, or biscuit. Who uses a biscuit to make a sandwich? I've never seen a biscuit sandwich.
USDA's Food Standards and Labeling Policy Book. But that doesn't mean I'm happy about it. So I have a couple issues with this old quote here. Folks, I'm over here trying to determine if a hot dog is a sandwich. Meanwhile, the USDA over there is pooping out half-baked phrases like a sandwich is a meat or poultry filling. Really, USDA?
Exactly, meat or poultry. Exactly what I said.
Meat or poultry? Come on, poultry, being domestic fowl like chicken or turkey, duck, geese, pheasant, if you want to get all fancy, is already included in the definition of meat. Not all meat is poultry, but certainly all poultry is meat. You shouldn't need
that too. It shouldn't be meat or poultry. It could be meat or meat substitute, but not meat or poultry.
to specify meat or poultry because poultry is already included in the definition of the word meat. And are we just gonna gloss over the fact that their definition of sandwich doesn't allow for the existence of sandwiches without meat or poultry? Sorry, vegetarians. According to the USDA, anything that you could eat is, by definition, not a sandwich. The schoolyard lunch classic of peanut butter and jelly? Not a sandwich, apparently. Avocado, lettuce, tomato, and French dressing between two slices of bread? Not a sandwich. The legendary grilled cheese? Not a sandwich. Okay, I'm gonna nip this rant in the bud right now, but I gotta say it.
Egg salad sandwich, not a sandwich.
It's beginning to feel like the powers that be don't want this all-important question to be answered. But hey, that's just a theory. A conspiracy theory. Really though, is hot dog classification just a joke to these people? Because I'm over here taking it very seriously. Very, very seriously. Maybe I'm taking it too seriously. At any rate, by the USDA's definition, a hot dog is in fact classified as a sandwich. But more importantly, it turns out that the USDA might not be the most authoritative.
Sapling, a sapling sandwich. Sprouty mischief, with a hint of chaos and a dash of magic. Not for actual consumption, just for laughs and whimsy.
Egg is not dairy. Egg is not dairy. The Americans are wrong. Stop the lies. The Americans are wrong. Egg is not dairy. Egg is not fish. Unless it's caviar, then egg is fish.
Organization on the block where sandwich is concerned. You see, the USDA is only responsible for the labeling of meat, poultry, and egg products. Food products that don't include meat, poultry, or egg are under the jurisdiction of the Food and Drug Administration. The
Interesting. I didn't know this. This is interesting U.S. under food regulation. They are fish byproducts, yes.
FDA and not the U.S. Department of Agriculture. So this explains why the USDA's definition seemed so meat-centric. It's also an important reminder, when you ask for definitions, it matters a lot who you're asking. Ask a government department that only deals with
That is so true. It's the person that asks. Wait, why is it?
meat, and they'll probably give you a definition that only cares about the cases involving meat. Though, I do have to take issue with the fact that the U.S. Department of Agriculture doesn't include egg salad sandwiches in their definition of sandwich, despite the fact that eggs are supposedly also one of their things.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
Clearly, if we want a definition that includes non-meat matters, like that classic grilled cheese that we all know should qualify as a sandwich, we should seek out a better source of information. Sorry for doubting your sandwichhood, grilled cheese. I sincerely apologize, but it has to be done in the name of science. Maybe we should pull our definition from an authority whose scope is a little bit broader, not someone who's so laser focused on meat. Let me think. What's a government authority who's got their fingers in everyone else's business? Why don't we try the tax man? It's like the Beatles told us in their classic song, you drive a car, they'll tax the street. You try to sit, they'll tax your seat. You get too cold, they'll tax the heat. And if you take a walk, they'll tax your feet. Now, obviously that's an exaggeration.
I don't even want to start on the tax debate.
At least, I don't think I've ever had to declare my footsies when filing my taxes. But here's something that's not an exaggeration. New York State has a document titled Tax Bulletin ST-835. What is considered a sandwich? And remember, New York is where the hot dog was invented, so I'm definitely curious to know where they land on the issue. Now, if you're wondering why the Department of Revenue would be concerned with the legal definition of a sandwich, it mostly comes down to the fact that while the state taxes prepared food, like what you'd get from a restaurant, it doesn't have a sales tax for unprepared foods that you buy at a grocery store. McDouble, McChicken, both
That
tax.
reminds me,
Uncooked hamburger.
everyone, pay the Cami sapling tax. Bits or subs, please. K.
Exactly. Taxes. Taxes time, guys. Taxes. Taxi time.
Burger and chicken patties from the frozen food section at your grocery store, not taxed. In short, buying food ingredients isn't supposed to carry a tax, but that changes when you get into prepared food, which some grocery stores do.
That's why the definition of sandwich matters.
And the state wants to make sure that whenever you pick up a pre-made sandwich, it's labeled as such because sandwiches will fall into the category of prepared foods and they need to be making money off of that sale. Also, if you're tricky and looking to avoid taxes, this does mean that there's a loophole in the tax code. A sandwich is taxed, but the same ingredients, if separated, are not taxed. One home delivery service took advantage of this by selling chicken tortilla wraps that all came unassembled. Instead of selling the wrap, they would provide customers with the tortilla, some chicken, and vegetables, and then let them assemble it themselves. Turns
See, loopholes, guys, loopholes.
out they got away with it too. The state ruled that they didn't have to pay the tax for prepared food because the food wasn't prepared. They were just selling a collection of ingredients.
You just have to buy wow. Wait a minute. Is that what that HelloFresh bullshit is? They are just trying to save money on taxes so they don't have to pay taxes?
It's a good thing that they found that loophole too, because it turns out a chicken tortilla wrap is exactly the kind of thing that the state of New York would include in their definition of a sandwich. According to that tax bulletin I mentioned before, a sandwich is, quote, made on bread or on bagels, on rolls, in pitas, in wraps or otherwise, and regardless of the filling or the number of layers. Now that is a pretty broad definition.
That's
a
so
definition
broad.
that again encompasses hot dogs. But here's the thing. According to the state of New York, a Chipotle burrito is also a sandwich. And since this definition is meant to be applied regardless of the filling, it means that it doesn't matter if your sandwich is meat or vegan, sweet or savory. It also applies regardless of the number of layers, which means that an open-faced sandwich is a sandwich. So is a bagel with cream cheese a sandwich? Yes. Is a bagel with lox on it a sandwich? Yes. Heck, by this definition, a pizza is a sandwich. When left in the hands of tax regulators, it would seem the definition of sandwich can go completely off the rails.
Well, and the definition of sandwich for them is basically anything that is prepared.
According to one tax regulation in the state of Colorado, quote, sandwiches are defined as single-serving items such as hamburgers, hot dogs, frozen pizza.
Wait, what? They're saying a hamburger is a sandwich, and frozen pizzas are a sandwich too, guys.
Burritos, chicken wings, etc. I mean,
Wait. Chicken wings is a sandwich? No. Because breading, but not all chicken wings are breaded, right? Clearly sandwiches are witches that have sand magic, yes. Chicken wings are not a sandwich, guys.
it's so dumb. It's so stupid. I've heard some Whoppers in my day, but can we at least agree that a chicken wing is not a sandwich? I don't know, maybe those Beatles weren't exaggerating after all. Maybe I should start talking to my accountant to make sure I don't have to declare my feet as some sort of tax write-off. But the takeaway here is that once again, we need to consider the source where our definition is coming from. It behooves the USDA to focus on meat when defining a sandwich. It behooves the Department of Revenue to define anything as a sandwich because more taxes mean that they get to collect more money. Gotta say, I'm feeling a bit like Goldilocks right now. I found a definition that's too narrow, I found one that's too broad, now I want one that's just right. But who to trust? Which individuals or organizations out there are most in tune with how real people are using the term sandwich in real life? Me, I'm thinking restaurants. After all, you can define the word sandwich however you want in legalese when it comes to writing tax law, apparently to the point of including chicken wings in your definition of sandwich. But if you put chicken wings on the menu and call it a sandwich, real life customers aren't gonna let you get away with that one.
Yep,
and if we can get a legal
Exactly. That's the thing, right? If you called, would you like your chicken sandwich, and you served them a whole plate of chicken wings, you would be disappointing your customers.
Authority to rule on how restaurants do business, even better. Fortunately, that ruling came from a court in Worcester County, Massachusetts. If you're wondering how something like this goes to court, the story goes a little something like this. Shopping centers often have agreements with restaurants that operate in that shopping center that they won't lease out space to restaurants of the same type. The basic rationale for this is that if two Italian restaurants open right next to one another, they'll just end up competing each other out of business, which is bad for the restaurants and also bad for the shopping center who has to now find a new renter to replace the restaurant that goes out of business. On top of that, it's nice for the regular shoppers if they have more dining options when they visit. Imagine going to a food court and all they got is Chinese restaurants. Got nothing against Chinese food, but like a little bit more variety, you know? Anyway, two similar restaurants opening in the same shopping center would be a lose-lose-lose for everyone involved, which is why a Massachusetts Panera location had an agreement with the shopping center that the Panera would be the only sandwich place in that center. No Subway, no Quiznos. Essentially, Panera had a monopoly on the sandwich rights to that shopping center. Things got a bit sticky though when a Qdoba tried to move in. The owners of the Panera Bread claimed that having a Qdoba restaurant next door would violate their lease agreement. Somehow, a Mexican restaurant serving burritos was seen by the Panera owners as a threat to their sandwich monopoly. Now, I think a lot of us would say, of course Qdoba isn't a sandwich place, they serve tacos and burritos. But as we've just seen, according to tax boards across the land, the definition of the word sandwich often includes things like wraps and burritos. So, was Qdoba infringing on Panera's turf by trying to sell tortillas filled with beans, rice, and meat? Well, that ended up being settled in court. Like any good court case, expert witnesses were called in to testify in order for the judge to make an informed decision. One of those witnesses
I personally think that Panera is and the Mexican food place is totally different, and that Mexican food is a whole different thing. Because like if I'm wanting a food, I'm gonna think this is sandwich court, yes. I'm gonna think if I want a sandwich, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can have a taco instead. Like taco is a taco, you know?
This was Cambridge chef and food writer Christopher Schlesinger, who said, quote, "I know of no chef or culinary historian who would call a burrito a sandwich. Indeed, the notion would be absurd to any credible chef or culinary historian," end quote. And the judge, Justice Jeffrey A. Locke, ultimately agreed. He ruled in favor of Qdoba being allowed to operate in the same shopping center as the Panera. In his decision, he cited an entry in Merriam-Webster's dictionary as one of the most compelling pieces of evidence, quoting the justice himself. The New Webster Third International Dictionary describes a sandwich as 2 thin pieces of bread, usually buttered, with a thin layer as of meat, cheese, or savory mixture spread between them. Under this definition, and as dictated by common sense, this court finds that the term sandwich is not commonly understood to include burritos, tacos, and quesadillas. And as for hot dogs, according to the definition acknowledged by the court, a hot dog is, drumroll please, not a sandwich. A hot dog does not have 2 pieces of bread. It has 1. That piece of bread is not typically buttered. The layer of meat in a hot dog is not thin. It's tubular. And a hot dog wiener does not get spread across the bread. So there you have it, friends. A ruling from the Massachusetts Superior Court. Stamp this hot take food theory certified fresh. Hot dogs are not sandwiches. They're their own all-American thing. And Panera didn't appeal the court case either, so the matter remains settled there, or so we'd like to think. Because keep in mind, the judge cited the dictionary definition of a sandwich. Dictionaries change every year to reflect the way that we use language. The word emoji and meme weren't in the Merriam-Webster dictionary 10 years ago, and now they are. Along with other words like jegging. Remember that short-lived fashion trend? I don't, but the dictionary does. The judge also cited common sense, which is another thing that changes over time. After all, common sense used to say that lots of grains were the foundation of any healthy diet. Remember that food pyramid that we were all taught back in school? And now most diet advice warns us against the dangers of having too many carbs. The point is, if the definition of a sandwich,
What did we learn? That nobody can agree.
which is going to be based on things like the dictionary definition, which is based on how people use language, and common sense, which is even more nebulous, the definition of what is or isn't a sandwich could change the moment that we as a society collectively decide that the old definition is obsolete. Language is a democracy. If enough people decide that a word means something, the dictionaries update to reflect it. And personally, I find it fitting that the all-American hot dog got classified democratically in the end. But hey, that's just a theory. A food theory. Okay, so I know I've been pushing the whole
That's just a food theory, which apparently is all wrong anyway, because everything's always wrong, because nobody is ever happy with the conclusion we have come to. It's barely talked about pizza. The reason we watched it is because somebody said pizza was a sandwich, and I said, no, it's not. It's a pie. This is 11 days ago, guys. Okay,
So
okay.
can we agree that a hot dog is a taco?
We
Hot
can.
taco,
This is the
yum.
thing: is we cannot agree a hot dog's a taco. A hot dog's a balmy. That's what we're saying now, guys. A hot dog is a balmy.
We're looking into a story getting some buzz. It claims a judge has ruled that tacos and burritos are indeed sandwiches. And folks, this one is true. Indiana Judge Craig Bobay made the ruling involving a dispute over a strip mall in 2022. The owner of a Mexican restaurant
This is the same kind of story like the paneer one from the previous video.
wanted to move into a Fort Wayne strip mall, but that mall has an agreement with the neighborhood that only restaurants that sell made-to-order or Subway-style sandwiches will be allowed. So the case went.
See, this is interesting because this is the opposite. The restaurant wants to be considered a sandwich. Before, the restaurant wanted to prove it was in fact not a sandwich.
To court, and Monday the judge ruled tacos and burritos are Mexican style sandwiches. So it's official, the restaurant isn't breaking the rules. We'll be right back.
Does that mean things are either a soup, a sandwich, or a pie? Are those the only options for things that exist now? Is everything just a super sandwich or pie?